Good morning, everyone. I'm going to ask these people to sit, and while they do, let's give them a first round of applause. Thank you, and welcome. My name's Dave Schaefer. I'm principal at the Gap side of our building at West 20th Street School. And my counterpart is Director Mark Cousins. So Mark's up here. You want to just give a wave, Mark? So Mark runs the CCP program, and it's my privilege, my pleasure to be a part of the Gap program. I want to introduce just a few special folks here this morning. And you're not going to be able to see anybody back there. John Gates is back there somewhere in the dark. He's kind of waving. All right. Welcome, John Gates. He's our Director of School Safety and Security. And then up here on stage with our staff, we have a couple of board members. I think just two. I saw Terry Pappas. Terry, give a wave or stand. We can't see you. And John Hafley is back here as well. That's it, right? Two. Okay. Also with us today is my boss. She's here just to make sure I do things right. No, I think she actually likes coming to these. Dr. Rhonda Hannaford. And let's see. Where's Teresa Myers? She might be back in the dark too. Right beside you, sir. Right beside. Over here, Teresa Myers is our Director of Communications. Okay, and then I'm going to ask our staff, the CCP folks and GAP folks who are the teachers and the mentors, advisors, coaches of our students. Would you folks please stand? They're all in the back row, every one of you. I used to introduce them one by one many years ago, but you can see that's a pretty big group of folks. Anyway, special welcome to all of you today. We're going to start off with a speech from a guest speaker, and this guest is a former student of ours. He graduated, I believe, last summer. Is that right, Brandon? Last summer. And Brandon has gone on to do some really cool things, and he's here just to give a few words of encouragement. And Brandon Warwick, would you please come to the stage?
I'd like to start us off by recognizing a few people. First of all, thank you to GAP and its staff for giving me the opportunity to speak here today, along with the opportunity to kind of find myself through going here. I was at a point where I most likely wouldn't have graduated high school if it weren't for GAP. And through that, I wouldn't have been able to go to Ames, and I wouldn't have been able to kind of pursue what I'm passionate about. So I feel indebted to GAP for that. And I love what they do here about kind of putting faith in students who get tossed out by a lot of other people. And then I also want to recognize the graduates. All of you, no doubt, have put in a lot of work to be here today, and chances are the road here wasn't perfect. But through that, you all still made it. And maybe you had to overcome a lot to be able to sit here as a graduate. And the ability to overcome adversity like you have will prove to be a key part in living the life that you're capable of. We're entering a crazy time in our lives, a time where nothing is guaranteed, a time where being able to keep going in the face of adversity is more important than ever, a time where every day the definition of impossible is challenged. And I want to talk about that word impossible for a minute. At some point, everyone gets told that something's impossible. And I don't mean something that's universally impossible. I mean being told that something's impossible for you. Maybe someone else can do it, but just not you. Some of you, like me, might have even been told that today was possible. Today was impossible. That you wouldn't be here ready to graduate because you weren't smart enough, or you weren't driven enough, you didn't show up on time, you didn't know how to apply yourself, or you didn't have the motivation. But none of that matters now because you are here and you did make it. One of my favorite quotes is by Muhammad Ali, who speaks on the word impossible. He says, "Impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it." Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare. Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. Impossible is nothing. I encourage you all to pursue the best life you can. Not a single one of you is below success. Not a single one of you is below happiness. Not a single one of you is below achieving your dreams. The most important thing to take from this is to believe in yourself. Greatness belongs to those who believe they can achieve it. There's a famous quote that goes, "Those who say they can and those who say they can't are usually both right." So whatever it is you do it with all your heart. Don't give up. Fall 7 times, get up 8. It was Nelson Mandela who said, the greatest glory in living lies not in never failing, but rising every time we fall. All of you have something to offer, and I want to congratulate you for making it here. And as much as this is a time for reflecting and thinking, it's mainly a time for celebrating. So everybody make some noise for the graduating class of 2019. There we go.
Thank you, Brandon. That was great. Our next speaker is Mr. Roger Dewitt, and I'm going to say a few words about him. Many of you know that he served on our school board until just recently, and I don't know if the words retirement or just moved on to something else, but he was a great asset to our district while he served on the board, and he served as the board president as well. He served from 2013 to 2018, so just recently. Roger taught school here in District 6 in 4 different schools. He was at Greeley Central, Heath Middle School, John Evans Middle School, and Greeley West High School. And he taught many years at Ames Community College before taking a position as an adjunct professor at the University of Northern Colorado. A little while back, I learned that Roger has learned to speak 4 languages, and those would be, actually he told me 3.5. Those would be German, Russian, English, and some Spanish. And I told him, I still struggle with English. That's my first and only, and I still haven't quite got it right, but I'm working on it. So anyhow, would you please help me welcome this talented and wonderful guy who is also a great friend of both GAP and CCP, Mr. Roger Dewitt.
Thank you, sir. It's very nice. Jake Garn. Jake Garn. Jake Garn. That may not be a household name, but I want to link his name to the success that you've experienced that brought you here today. He was told no a lot. He was told he'd never make it. He was told that he'd never feel the success he wanted. Maybe he's like some of the people on the stage now. He used everything that he had to the point of nausea, more on that in a moment, to achieve his goal. Maybe you guys did too. Jake Garn wrote to NASA to ask for a ride on the 17th space shuttle. He was 53 years old, so just a young man, and he was not an astronaut. Did anyone here this morning work toward graduation when some people doubted you could? But here you are. Jake Garn just happened to be a senator. And he happened to be a senator who was in charge of the budget for NASA. Are you coming with me now? How he might have got to space. He had flown B-52s. Show of hands. Okay, so that's a pretty good deal. And he also test drove tanks. But that's not the typical way for people to get into outer space with a space mission. But he went over 100,000 space miles. He just told NASA that if he didn't get to fly with them, they wouldn't be getting to fly. It's a pretty good technique. I'm not encouraging you to engage in that behavior. I'm just saying you got to use what you got. So the people graduating today told themselves, And they told their teachers and they told this school district that they were graduating. And here you are, graduating. NASA told him he'd be so sick in space, he probably couldn't do anything useful. So he went up, and he declared himself to be part of a scientific experiment in getting sick. He was so sick all the time, he couldn't do anything else. And he was so sick that they essentially established a measurement of sickness based on his experience. People on this stage studied, and they worked, and maybe from time to time felt sick of the entire situation, but you never established a grid for sickness, I think. And yet here you are, and there he went. One thing I hope that you don't do in your near future is become as famous as Garn is in his particular area of fame. And Mr. Schaefer, I've only been at about a quarter Garn of stress and nausea during my presentation at this point. But these students here have worked and studied and waited and delayed and started again and prepared for graduation. They've completed their mission without visible nausea. Congrats, graduations. May you never experience one Garn in your lives or in your work. One thing I hope you guys didn't do was to create the NASA Space Sickness System because of being up here on stage particularly. But in space, when an astronaut is as sick as they've ever been, you'll remember they experienced that one Garn that you will never experience. Congratulations, seize this day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Roger. All right, getting to the serious business. We have diplomas and so forth to get out today, to get into the hands of these young people up here in the front. And so I'm going to call on Steve Gard, who is my Dean of Students, our Dean of Students at GAP. He's been with me since the first day, helped me develop everything that we do. I could not have done it without Steve Gard. So Steve, will you come up and help with this?
Thank you all for coming. I'm sure you're very proud of these folks. I am myself as equally proud of every one of you, whether I knew you or not. I was always watching your folders or hearing from CCP how you guys were doing. So we're very proud of you, and I'm very happy to see you all here today. I know what you're really waiting for is to hear the person you came here for, their names. So I'll quit talking. And I'll invite the first row of graduates. These graduates are all from GAP to stand up to prepare to receive their diplomas. Gracia C. Ariano. Dante Canava. Joshua L. Dyer. Jose F. Flores Martinez. Jaylene M. Garcia Piñon. Denasia A. Guzman. Herminia L. Marquez. Courtney R. Martinez. Kevin M. Mendez. Colt M. Palmer. Kiara E. Prieto. Elijah R. Reed. Danielle M. Roberts. Dallas T. Rodriguez. Isaiah N. Roybal. Antonio R. Ruiz Williams. Ivana H. Salinas. Raylyn M. Stex. Quentin A. Willis. Elizabeth A. Wiest. As she goes through the receiving line, I'm very proud of all the GAP graduates. This is the best thing about our ceremony, I think, is it's not one, but it's two in one. So I'm going to pass the mic to Director of CCP to introduce the CCP graduates, Mr. Mark Cousins, come on up.
We are going to give just a minute for the GAP students to congratulate their teachers and their teachers to congratulate them, and then we will allow them to sit down as we go through the second part of the ceremony today. I've been very fortunate to be involved with a lot of different graduations over my tenure as a high school administrator, teacher, and now as the director for the Career and College Prep program. There are very few graduates that I've had the experience of knowing and working with that I am more proud of than the group I have on the stage today. These individuals come from backgrounds that would crush a lesser person, including myself. I'm not sure how they managed to get to this point in their life to where they successfully completed the requirements of the Career and College Prep program, but I know this, I'm extremely proud of their accomplishments. It's not easy in this world as a youngster anymore. And I keep telling them, you're no longer a youngster. You're a full-grown adult at this moment in time. And I thank you for having graced the hallways and the classrooms of the Career and College Prep program. So I thank them for allowing me to be part of their educational process. And I thank my teachers for working with them for their success. So as we introduce them today, please keep in mind from where they have come and know that they're going on to do wonderful and great things, and I'm very proud of them. So I give to you the graduating class of fall 2018 from the Career and College Prep program. Please rise. Very proud of you guys, very proud. One of the staff members, Ms. Carla Nagy, is going to introduce them so that I can hand them their diplomas and escort them across the stage. Ms. Nagy?
Holly Allman. Raven Cyan Berrigan Anderson. Mahala Hannah Rue. Kevin Hernandez Leos. Kaylin Colnut. Ángel Martínez. Aisha Martínez. Jasmine Martínez. Henry Moreno. Brianna Muñoz. Kira Newton. Isaiah Roman.
You done?
Let me finish, and I'll turn it over to you. Again, thank you for coming. If I could get one more round of applause for the CCP graduates, I'd appreciate it. At this point in time, I'll turn the mic back over to Dr. Schaefer.
Thank you, Mark. And no, it's not Dr. Schaefer. But I appreciate it. So we need to do one last deed here before we dismiss. We need to make sure that we've jumped through all the hoops required by the state and by our school board. And we have what we call conferring the diplomas. It's an official act, must be done by somebody official, somebody on the school board. So we're delighted today to have John Hafley, who many of you know. He's a native of Greeley. He graduated from Greeley University High School. He attended Colorado State University, and he was a teacher in the social studies department at Greeley West, but also at a middle school, which I don't recall which he's shaking his head. He doesn't recall either. Anyway, his career was 27 years, and now he's on the school board with us. John's passion for teaching and community service are exhibited through his long coaching and teaching career and service to many organizations and activities like School District 6 School Board. So please welcome Mr. John Hafley to the mic to certify the diplomas these young men and women have just received.
You want the speech? I do. Thank you very much, Mr. Schaefer. On behalf of the school board,
we'd like to congratulate the CCP and the GAP graduates. We know that this has been incredibly challenging throughout the course of your career, and know that we're really, really proud of you, and we look forward to your future successes. To the people out here, the board knows that being a parent or a guardian or a friend is really a challenge, and each of you should be unbelievably passionate and proud of your graduates today, and we all need to celebrate them as well. And the people in the back row, all the educators, I want you to stand up one more time. Go ahead, I want all teachers to stand up one more time. That applause is heartfelt because they know that you're the most transformational component in all of these students' lives, and each of you should be very proud of what you've accomplished, and the board wants to thank you as well. So thank you. It is my pleasure as a member of the Greeley Evans School Board of Education to certify that each of you has met all the graduation requirements of District 6 as recommended and certified by the faculty and staff. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Education, you are now authorized to receive your individual diplomas. Congratulations to each of you. As an indication of your graduation, I would like you to move your tassels from the right side of your hat to the left side. Congratulations.
Indeed. So you may have noticed that this program has been recorded, and so it will play over and over and over again as many times as you want to watch it on the district website. If you need help finding that, somebody up here can probably help you find it. But thank you, George, thank you for your help today with recording. So it is my pleasure to introduce to you the winter graduation class of 2018-19, and I'd like them to stand so we can give them one more round of applause, and then they will exit before you do. Let them get by and get out into the lobby, and then you can follow them on out there for pictures and whatever else you would like to do to celebrate today. So graduates, all of you, GAP and CCP, please stand.